Heyo, Cool Skeleton 111 here. How y'all doing? Alright, well today, we're getting back into Ace Attorney. I actually kind of forget where we were, so we'll just have to figure it out once we get back in. But yeah, without further ado, are you all ready to get into it? Here we go! Alright, sorry about that. Trying to set up the game before we get into it. Alright, looks like the audio is working. Picture is up. Great! Also, yes, if you haven't heard, I only need 25 followers instead of the 50 to get affiliate. But we aren't affiliate yet, because I need an average of 3 viewers. That's right, only 3. For a total of 4 streams on different days. So, please bring all your friends, all your family. We need those views. Alright, you don't have to watch me, but if you want to support me, please do. But, yep, let's go ahead and get into this. Yep. Trial former. Okay. Ah, yes, this. We were in the middle of a trial.
Show us the video of you murdering the victim!
Oh yes. Please be wary. There will be some bad voice acting. Oh, please stop using that word. Murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just, what are we getting ourselves into? Blue Badger. What was that? There he comes. And there he goes. 3D animation. Wow. Oh. Oh no. That's left open. And... wait, there's something there now. Well, that was not the best.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with this? These unsettling feelings stirred within us.
What the heck was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video added to the court record.
Yes, well, anyway, This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly complete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! Mystery Man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. There are no questions that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do so. The locker is opened in unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
what is this about fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I shall be right back. Sorry about that. Let us continue. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. But everything begins with contradictions, and I will be right back again. Alright, sorry about that again. Hopefully that should be the last time I have to do that. One of my buddies in the tomb needed me for a second. Alright. Everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Mystery Man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Okay, I think we've read this last time, so I don't really need to. Jeez, what the heck is going on with the audio? Hold on a sec, trying to fix a few things. Not sure if this will help, trying to get rid of some files. Alright, let's just continue. His face can't clearly be seen in the video. There's no question the other person was Detective Goodman. I'm gonna press on that. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Oh, why is everyone looking at me? You try to label your stares as disturbance,
Meekins.
Haven't even been shown. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him.
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he tried.
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir. And let's go.
Can we present part of the film? We might be able to present the film. I don't think that's what we need to do right now. I'm a little stuck. I'll go ahead and look it up. Jeez. I'm thinking about maybe restarting this thing. Because, oh my gosh. Okay, come on. Holy smokes.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face!
Sir! If I may say something, sir.
Please do! After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust the knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? Yes? Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction.
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out?
Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in this video. This is the first time that I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, and pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates this man is not Goodman?
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me?
Alright, hold on. I'm gonna save real quick. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna make sure that this is... As I understand it, the locker's apparatuses work like this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna restart this thing, because it is just driving me nuts. Alright, so hold on just a sec. Because maybe it just needs to restart or something. So how are you all doing? Alright, let's see. Is the audio better now? Maybe? Okay, maybe that was it. Alright, back to the game. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprints. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Yeah, the light is on, even though the rest of them don't have it. When the light turns on, that means it's unlocked. At least I think so, anyway. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's rewind a little to earlier. Here, notice this light.
What's this? It's already lit!
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Order? What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
But the locks are controlled by electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That is not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh, yeah. It's just good to show noses should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Maybe it's something like jammed the system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor? Say... There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the reason why.
Bingo.
Take that!
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
What's this? Something white fell off the locker.
But, sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I have them fall out and roll great distances to the...
We can't be sure that that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Well, I understand, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times I get it stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my necktie...
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit into the door.
Not only that, it would only have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene.
There just might have been something that fits the description.
Well, sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the door?
I think I know. A thin rubber glove.
Take that!
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim's opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could open that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir! It would appear so, sir. More
Sorry, mix up voices.
So are we to believe then that the victim, who this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Objection! Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure that you're referring to... Sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course.
Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Mystery Man 2.
There's one other thing that proves that the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card's used, there's record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record? I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
There were only a few cases up for transferals there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
And now I save again. So we don't have to go through all that. I think I know what to use, but I don't know which one to use it on. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
But maybe he just panicked.
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
Problem with the ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like effort to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on. Let's show them what we got.
Well, I'm just gonna use it here. Because I think we use the lost item report on this. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm referring to the evidence room at the police department. I'm not referring to it. I mean the other crime scene. the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
The lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on that day of the crime.
Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his ID card.
Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is, well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your fingers around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well, you seem you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in the video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So, the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
fine. I knew that test me was too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Gooden.
Just so you know, you honor.
Mr. Wright! You have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Jacked, I guess. One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Why do we have to watch this again? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. They must have felt pretty proud about the 3D animation at the time. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright! Do you mean...
How did you... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified. What is his or her name?
I think we all know. Jake Marshall.
Why here?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We should need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Big words. Would the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 2.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured out everything.
I haven't figured out anything.
Lana! You're the one who knows everything!
Emma!
You always know everything! Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
No. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making the detective run around while I'm duty. And to top it all off, you call me here? I've seen happy people. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, grant what I asked.
You mean these, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Can I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy!
The SL9 incident?
But, Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you may do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in this case.
Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky.
Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with this serial murder.
Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name here? What? My name is there? I don't know. Unless... No. It couldn't be. Lana! The Cecil 9 incident... Is that... That is the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago. The rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark Killings. Joe Dark... No! No! Lana! It's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered I got it somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Woohoo! Yes, I would like to save. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
Emma didn't come back.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Gulp.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man. Same as you. Wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edwards described it that way before. Edwards described that way.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. On the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
Desperado souls is a boundless as a desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Listener with us, your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Day of the crime.
My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time when it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I'll hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Day of the crime. Alright, let's see. Alright, I think we present on this one. No, walkthrough says this one. I'm using the walkthrough on this because it's getting difficult. But yes, I'm only using the walkthrough if I desperately need it. Which I pretty much do right now. So we are going to present his fingerprints. That's this one. On this statement. Because I kind of knew which piece of evidence we needed, but not on which statement. Alright, anyway. Officer Marshall. Doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you drag me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm caretaker of that crate.
No, I am.
I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints will be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ran a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well, you begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime?
Blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be in the same place as the stat.
Excuse me, I'm very yawny today.
In the same place the bloodstained hand. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was, my chains. The bloodstain and the fingerprint were completely unrelated. Or did you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanation appears valid. Oh, there's no room for doubt. There's room for doubt.
My life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it.
Now's my chance to prove it. Blood-stained fingerprints. And we are going to save. Frequent saving. But not too frequently, because then you can get soft locked. I've had it happen to me before. No, I would not say that. Bloodstains and a fingerprint. Well, hold on. Do we need more info about this? I'm gonna press on this one. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't got get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Okay. I think this one. But I need more info, I think. Well, it's been wiped away. I'm gonna take a look at this real quick. Neil Marshall. Who's Neil? have the thing in the... I'm not sure which one to present. You know, I'm just gonna try it. Nope. Okay, so this one, we'll try the wiped away blood handprint. Nothing here. Okay, that's not it either. Alright, one more attempt. Bloodstain and fingerprints are completely unrelated. Are they, though? Are they? SL911 is written on these tags. It seems this is more evidence from that incident. Okay, so there's just nothing on this. No, I guess not until later. Alright, walkthrough time. Because I just don't want to be stuck on this forever. How did you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene though. Thought to be left by the murderer.
That again. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah. I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion.
I can't let him squirm out of this one. I gotta find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
Ah, and that's what we needed.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker is still used. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
Didn't you say you didn't know how to use the technology? see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using that fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Marshall's fingerprints updated in the court record.
Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trial isn't here, my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up. This is right. What do you mean by that?
You wanna tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video was the only direct evidence you had.
Objection!
But that video was next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's positions, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Dick Marshall.
Fast forwarding. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker showdown. That locker shown in this video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Oh, that was... Oh well. Phoenix is the judge now. And now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
The white cloth is gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly disappeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away!
Order, just...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong mate. So what if my locker was open? That don't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only one who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, they prove it.
Alright, if you say so. Okay, present.
Take that!
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
Here in any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only got one word for you, partner. Nay!
Order! Witness, explain yourself!
If this is a joke, it's the worst I ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you've been doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Holy! Please answer the question.
He's trying. What is he now? Bullfighter? That's right. That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest of it from here.
We can.
Have a look at the floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Right here. Or no, the other way. Yes, never mind then.
He was standing right here.
But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you who dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection! But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Objection!
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show us a card, sir.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? Hello, Kindron. Welcome in. How you doing? Also, yeah.
He suddenly pulled a knife on me.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room. So he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
I get it.
If he had showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized that man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Nothing?
You got quite imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that, Break Detective. Unless you've heard hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't seem to be complaining.
No, thank you. Alright, sorry about that.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond the shadow of a doubt That awesome marshal dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who could take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Miss Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came out because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps. Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
And we will fast forward a bit. And right there. Can't walk out of a room with a blood-stained coat. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat?
You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half persistent then as you were today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright. It seems the time has come.
Marshall's confession.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. They'd managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you?
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
There was way too much blood for such a small donation. And we shall save here. Why did you take it out? Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And Detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filing out a lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under no normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Good must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Okay, this thing says to press them on every statement, so I'm just gonna go all the way through. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
The SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking in the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why.
You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little bit more about his race this year.
Why did Edward get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked out Officer Meekins' head?
So you did your research beforehand?
Those who go out into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tapes is erased every day, or every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no food would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat and just struggled with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What about Officer Meek? What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day...
Blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blood? The victim shown on that tape is me. I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth? Where's that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty.
Someone else stole the evidence.
Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, now I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not the salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I think I know why. Not that one. This. Murder, death, victims. Neil Marshall. If he isn't related. Officer Marshall. I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident files right here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you heard this name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? Herr Prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed when the case fell into your hands.
But what is this relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gain. The then Deputy Chief of Police. My goodness, I've been sipping too much cactus juice. Group of detectives I was part of worked under them. Nah, we were desperate to prosecute the killer.
DK.
Joe Doc. My brother fought Drake. Dark. And was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Duck. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for insane actions? There's more of my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be opened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. But the things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder, at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murderer in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lorna Scott. Wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial! Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me that this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely uncontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I'd rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apartment murder, the apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant.
Hold it! Your Honor! Well, wait!
Emma!
The defense has an objection! A scientific objection! Right?
What do you mean, Wright?
Mr. Wright, are you this tunnel's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense,
Please, Your Honor! All I'm asking is a minute of your time! Please hear me out! Mr. Edgeworth! Please!
don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
I was kind of in a shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names about the Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So, I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Goodman's locker, or Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there, look at it again!
So, did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But, Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're the professional. If anyone can sing water, it's you.
Me?
Oh boy.
Time's up! Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry. I can't be more of a use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, probably...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now.
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Well, we're gonna have to.
Objection!
This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You're been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes. This is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, should have something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
I think I know. If we look at the bottom here, that's a lot of blood, ain't it? There's no blood puddle up there.
Take that!
As they say back west, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. It seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face.
It's no use. The more evidence there is, the greater the chance of me being wrong. Okay, so that wasn't it.
Just calm down, Mr. Wright. I'm trying to remember what the evidence room was like on the day of the crime.
What is it that bothers me with this? Okay, I think I know now. See that hand mark?
What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger. The mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So,
watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well,
What?
that's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint on the spot of the locker.
What? That means... just what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins
Was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that means this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... someone bled prior to the struggles shown on this tape. It had to have been... It had to have been... Detective Goodman! When he was really murdered.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection!
So then, assuming this murder really happened? When did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves it occurred. When it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, when did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
That would be... this. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
The ID card? Oh, the ID record!
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... let's see here... 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be... 4:40. Oh.
4:40 p.m.? Hey! Hey!
Whoa, don't have a heart attack, old man.
It's Edgeworth! Just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means... excuse me. The blood from the first crime scene was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's take a look at that chart again. there's only one other card number remaining. 777. 7777.
Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 sevens.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is multiple 7s.
That's 1 7's too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What?
Explain yourself, sir. The ID number 7777777 belonged to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's no one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted...
An official charge?
You're all that, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. No, not you. To her. The fan sitting over there. Your own little executive. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7s. Don't blame me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask. All I want to know is one thing. About that incident.
Yes, an incident.
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In the trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant! Just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the present all the evidence in the court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
The prosecutor! You didn't!
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But
Even if it involved forging evidence.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
No!
Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a ruckus. Chaos and horror could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued. And this is where we shall stop for now. Man, things are getting interesting. Alright, so let us head over to the crypt. Oh, man. Well, I suppose we'll have to see what happens next time. Right, well, let us see who there is to raid. It looks like Spoonie Hudson. Spoonie's playing some metaphor. So let us go raid out to them. Let me go ahead and just... Do-do-do. Alright. Well, thank you guys, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye!